新に礼。先生に礼。
Karate uses every striking surface of the body, both for defense and for attack. Especially important are the hands and feet, which are systematically trained until they become the most formidable of weapons. Since karate is essentially a defensive art, they become defensive weapons, to be used when attacked, in which case they are also used for counterattack. The various kinds of punches used in karate are the rising forward punch, the side sweeping punch, the hook punch, the inverted forward punch, the U punch, and the double forward punch. The basic movement is the ordinary forward punch. Unlike the boxing punch, however, in karate, the body does not follow through the movement. Rather, the entire body, with emphasis on the hips, is stiffened at the moment of impact, then instantly relaxed so that balance is never lost. Just as important in karate as the punch is the kick. There are various kinds. Among them, the forward kick, the side sweeping kick, the side snap kick, and the side thrust kick. When properly mastered, these are even more powerful than the punches and may be used most effectively as a surprise counterattack. Needless to say, to be used successfully, this technique requires considerable practice. The basic principle of karate is that a strong defense is the best possible offense. In deflecting an assault, the block is executed in such a way that the most effective counterattack may be instantly used. Thus, in karate, the defender, paradoxically, is almost always assured of victory over the attacker. If the block is forcible enough, however, there is often no need for any further counterattack. In other cases, the opponent's attack is both anticipated and prevented by a suitable counterattack. Formal exercises is one of the most important facets of karate training, for in this art the body must be made into a veritable weapon. These so-called kata, or sets of exercises, include all the various kinds of punching, kicking, and blocking, so that all kinds of imaginary attacks are successfully blocked and followed by effective counterattacks. There are more than 50 sets of such exercises, most of which were long ago developed by karate masters so that the students might practice by themselves. Some kata emphasize elaborate movements, while others specialize in speed. Sparring with another student comes only after one has become thoroughly familiar with the basic movements of karate. In these mock fights, the attacker is prearranged, and the defender is required to apply the block proper to the mode of attack, following with the counterattack. is also most effective in any kind of weaponed attack. For example, in defending oneself against an attacker with a knife. Boxing and karate share some common elements, but are actually quite different. In this earlier filmed comparison between the two, it will be noted that while agility and speed are most important in boxing, in karate it is the combination of various kinds of punches and kicks, plus speed and agility, which make the karate expert by far the more formidable opponent. Recently, the art has been gaining popularity among women. Since brute strength is not required, and since karate is more an art than a sport, one may become adept by learning its fundamentals, by constant practice in muscular control and body coordination. Thus, even the most slightly built women may learn a very sure means of self-defense. It is training, however, which is the most important single part of becoming a karate expert. For it is by training alone that the body can develop the skill and strength needed in practice of this art. Thus, one of the tests of proficiency consists of breaking 3 one-inch boards with the fist or feet, or cracking 10 pieces of slate with one blow. Another way of increasing one's strength is by using weights on the hands and feet, a practice aid which is now used in various kinds of bodybuilding as well. After mastering the fundamentals, the student is ready for freestyle practice. Unlike the sparring practice, here the attack is not prearranged. By this time, the karate student is able to stop his kicks and pull his punches just short of contact. This he must do in practice, or very shortly he would have no one to practice with. This freestyle practice can be quite dangerous if the contestants are careless or over-aggressive, but it does add an element of competition and gives excellent training in accuracy and confidence. As more and more people realize that karate need not be deadly, but may rather be a controlled and exercised sport, giving the students absolute body control, it is expected that these freestyle matches will transform karate into an accepted sport. Karate, as a most effective scientific technique of self-defense, is gaining popularity not only in the specialized institutes teaching it, but also in offices, in homes, in the country, and in schools. It is also becoming a part of the regular training of the American Air Police stationed in Japan. There is every prospect that karate will soon cease being a purely Japanese art and will gradually spread throughout all the countries of the world, becoming both a sport and a superb means of self-defense. Credit for karate's present stage of high development is due to Mr. Funakoshi, the man who gave karate its first Japanese exhibition and who has devoted his life to the teaching and perfecting of this art. Formerly regarded as somewhat esoteric, its fundamentals were kept secret and were passed on from master to select students. Now it is on its way to becoming a worldwide art. Emphasis on successful defense, karate is based on the highest principles of sportsmanship and fair play. Its practice gives excellent all-round exercise and aids in muscular development. It also teaches poise and self-confidence. Because of its deep devotion to the principles of self-defense, karate is obviously not a sport which will appeal to those who want to use it as an instrument of attack or who are merely interested in the amount of damage they may inflict through its use. Since it does not teach how to harm others, but rather how to protect oneself, it will therefore attract only those who wish to combine clean sport with a tangible accomplishment. In this way, karate is an art, one of the most austerely practiced, and it is also a sport, one of the most rewarding ever devised. Karate, or empty-handed, was the most strenuous military art of old Japan and remains today a most unusually effective form of bare-handed combat. To become a karate expert requires years of rigorous training and discipline, and its practice is said to build not only a powerful and supple body, but also a strong character. The practice of karate today demands the utmost devotion to the principles of good sportsmanship and fair play. Thus, as an infallible technique of self-defense, as an excellent method of physical training, and as an exciting sport, karate has begun to gain recognition throughout the world. Here are two karate men demonstrating the main principles of defense and attack in slow motion. This type of practice, in which the form of attack is prearranged, is what is first taught beginners. Later, as skill is developed, freestyle sparring, in which attacks are not prearranged, may be engaged in as a sport. When this stage is reached, punches and kicks are stopped just short of contact in order to avoid seriously injuring the opponent. Is not one of the usual techniques of karate, but in self-defense it is used as an adjunct to the others of blocking, punching, and kicking. In karate, throwing depends upon an effective use of the force of the opponent's attack and is used either before or after punching. The so-called kata are sets of exercises in which the fundamental techniques of karate, such as striking, kicking, blocking, and dodging, are performed in a set routine. There are more than 50 such sets of exercises, some relatively simple, others rather complex. These enable the karate student to practice by himself and to perfect his form. In practicing these exercises, one imagines being attacked in various ways and from all directions. karate's special virtue is its unique adaptability to various situations where self-defense is required. Here, it is used to block an attack aimed at one sitting on the floor in Japanese fashion. The counterattack is then successfully delivered. When sitting on a chair, the mobility of one's hands and feet is considerably less than when standing. The karate expert, however, can skillfully block the enemy's attack and then deliver his own counterattack aimed at the most vulnerable point. When one is the object of a surprise attack and a part of the body is immobilized, the attack must be immediately frustrated by using those parts of the body still free. Thus, if the hands are restrained, the body must be instantly maneuvered so that the feet may be brought into play. Weapons, too, are generally useless against the karate expert, who, taking advantage of a moment of inattention on the part of his opponent, may successfully defend himself against a pistol. Even when the attacker uses a club, the good karate man can fully protect himself through skillful body movement, blocking, punching, and kicking. The heaviest of weapons is no match for the hands and feet of the experienced karate player. Karate is not to injure others, but to defend oneself when attacked. Then, and only then, are karate techniques brought into play. For this reason, karate is much more than merely a way of fighting. It is a controlled and regulated sport, the art of which consists not only of the most absolute self-control, but also a complete observance of the universal code of good sportsmanship.